I'm Dr. Craig Escudé, the host of IDD Health Matters, a podcast where we talk about health, wellness, and health equity for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Hope you enjoy it.
The IDD Health Matters Podcast is a joint production between Friends for Life and Intellect Ability. For more information, go down into the show notes and click the link where it says Learn More Here.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of IDD Health Matters. Our guest today is Kelley Shepherd. Welcome, Kelley.
Thank you for having me.
So, Kelley, you're a direct support professional.
Yes.
You've been doing this for a while now, right?
I have. I started as a direct support professional in 2008.
So what does it mean to be a direct support professional?
For me, being a direct support professional means assisting people in navigating life. This could be anything from day-to-day activities as far as hygiene or activities, meals. It could mean advocating for themselves, telling people what they want as opposed to what they've been told that they want for so many years in the past. And just about making sure that they're living their best lives.
So I want to go back to what you said about people being told what they want versus what they actually want. Those two things don't often go together, or a lot of times they don't, right? So do you find that a challenging part of the job, that sometimes there are things that a person that you are providing support for doesn't really want something, but they really need to do something and you have to encourage them? Or, is that difficult sometimes?
Sometimes it can be. A lot of times it's about keeping myself in check and remembering that time is just a number. It's about, sometimes you got to wait for somebody to want to do things. There's no reason why somebody who doesn't go to a workshop or a day program or anything like that, there's no need to say as soon as you wake up you need to take a shower. If you want to wait until 10 o'clock to take a shower, you go ahead and do that.
I like that.
And my job is really just to make sure to ask, do you want to take a shower today? And a lot of times he will kind of give me a funny look, like, do I have a choice? So I'll say, are we going to do a shower today? Are we going to brush your teeth today? Things that we may take advantage of as day-to-day. We're just doing it as part of our routine. But we have to remember that that's a choice. I know one of the...
sometimes we make a choice not to take a shower in the morning or not to brush our teeth whenever, we might eat.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And being a DSP, a lot of times you hear about rights. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I was thinking about today is that people have a right to choose poorly. A lot of times we will sit and tell somebody, well, I don't think that sounds like a good idea. Maybe we don't want to do that. But the only way that we learn things is through experience.
Right.
Oftentimes I will tell people that we are our experiences, and if we shelter people from having experiences because we think that they're not going to be good experiences, then we're really not letting people live their lives. Nobody's telling me, don't forget to look both ways before you cross the street. If I run out in the middle of the street and I didn't look and I get hit, I can't blame my support person for that. They had no idea I was going to do that.
But in the same sense, and I guess this is part of probably one of the balance things that's hard, is you also are there to help ensure safety in certain situations as well too, right? So it's kind of finding that balance between, okay, this is a risk that they want to take, they can take that, but wait, nope, this is a dangerous risk, we can't do that.
Absolutely. I believe they call it dignity of risk. And I definitely would not advise just watching as somebody ran across the street. But things happen in a blink of an eye and you don't know. And that's its own thing.
So does part of your responsibility include supporting someone when they go to a healthcare visit?
Yes. And we actually have ways to do that virtually as well.
Okay.
And so that's nice too.
Can you describe how a successful visit looks when you go with someone and support them?
If I'm supporting somebody in a successful appointment, the doctor or service provider is speaking to them when they are having the appointment. It's not about asking me, is this person having any pain? It's asking the person, are you having any pain? And the more the person is involved in the appointment and I am not, I think the more successful it is.
Yeah. But sometimes, do you offer some input, or if it's appropriate, or if the person you're supporting says, "Hey, can you help me answer this question?" Is that an appropriate thing to happen?
Yes, I will step in if the person is struggling, or in some instances it's a matter of abilities for communication. So if somebody is not speaking verbally, it may not be easy for them to explain what's going on, and so my job would then be not saying, "Oh, I think this is going on. This is my observation," because although I am taking care of somebody, I'm not a licensed medical professional. I can't decide what's going on inside their bodies.
But even though you may not be a licensed professional, you have a vast amount of knowledge about that person and maybe what their baseline is and how things have changed, or if you see a change, especially in someone who can't use words to communicate, you might notice some behavior changes or some changes in their level of interest in activities, and that can be very, very helpful to a clinician to get that kind of information to help figure out what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that observation is key, and being able to diligently describe observations, I think really in those instances where somebody can't speak for themselves, that's where we have a successful appointment. If I come back and say, okay, well, the result of this appointment is going to make a difference, or always the ones that no changes needed. Yeah. Those are always the ones. Yeah. But I think that sometimes being able to say maybe a change is necessary. I think sometimes that's an important step too, because some people are just afraid not to rock the boat.
Sure. Have you had some challenging healthcare visits with people that you support where you felt maybe the clinician wasn't necessarily hearing you or hearing the person and getting the full picture, or have they all been pretty good?
For the most part, it's been pretty good. I know that there was one instance several years ago where I was supporting somebody in a doctor's appointment, and every time we went into the office, his blood pressure was through the roof, and they wanted to keep increasing his medication, and I was able to talk them into, well, his blood pressure is not high at home. And so they were able to kind of discover that it was an anxiety about being at the appointment.
That's not common, yeah.
And so we were able to kind of divert having this increase in medication that wasn't really necessary.
And that's a great way to advocate for the person that you support in that situation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So I bet through the years you probably have some pretty cool or interesting or amazing stories with people that you've provided support for. Anything you can share?
I've been telling this story a lot lately. I call it my tequila story. I've got somebody that I support who has recently gotten really into research through the Echo or Siri, or
using, you mean like a voice sold app type thing?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And recently I was completing my notes at the end of my shift, and I heard him go, "Alexa, what does tequila taste like?" And I went back and I explained to him that she can tell you what it is, but she can't tell you how it tastes. Mm-hmm. And so through discussions with him, we decided to make it a day out. He was kind of concerned. He had heard a lot of times, well, if you're on medication, you can't drink. And I was able to explain that if you drink earlier in the day, it won't affect.
And not too much.
Exactly. And so it was not long after that I heard him asking Alexa again about chipotle, like the pepper. And so we decided that we were going to go to a Mexican restaurant. He was going to have a chipotle dinner with a tequila to drink.
Tequila.
And he said that it was a pretty good experience. He said he liked it. He compared it to communion wine.
Wow. That's interesting.
Right.
Interesting comparison.
Yes. Yes, but it was kind of nice to be able to provide that because I think that he had kind of always been told about some of those things, like I was saying before, about that you're always kind of told things you shouldn't do, and things that concerned him, and he was only picking up half the story.
Yeah.
And so it was also nice because he turned it into talking about his housemates and said, oh, well, if so-and-so was here, what do you think he would get? Or, and so we kind of talked about their personalities and what kind of drinks they might like. And it was kind of a nice experience to see him interested in his housemates in a different way like that.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. What are some of the things that you really like about your job?
I really enjoy watching people grow. And I think that means so many different things to so many different people. But to me, when I'm watching somebody grow, I'm seeing them come into their true self. Mm-hmm. I know that it's hard when you're in a controlled environment like that. So to see people branch out and try new things that maybe they haven't tried before, it's great. One of the things about being a direct support professional is I always kind of describe it as the invisible workforce. And I don't really mean that in terms of visibility in society, the whole legislative battles going on and things like that. But it's more of if I'm doing my job to the absolute highest potential, then I'm in the shadows and the person I'm supporting is in the light. And that also makes me invisible.
So this is when you're not seeing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat perspective. So would you encourage other people to consider this as a field to work in?
Absolutely, I would. I think that if somebody is someone who describes themselves as a people person, I think that this is a great field to get into. I think that it's all about knowing that everybody can bring something to the table. And if you're a person who believes that everybody can bring something to the table, and you bring something to the table as well, then what you have in front of you is a feast.
I love the way you put that. That's great.
Thank you.
Friends for Life Residential Care, specializing in support for individuals with developmental disabilities, offers services like adult day support and home health care. Emphasizing empowerment and quality of life, we live by the motto, "My ability is stronger than my disability." We are currently hiring, welcoming those passionate about making a difference. Learn more and explore career opportunities at friendsforliferc.com.
I'm Dr. Craig Escudé, President of Intellectability. State developmental disability agencies, managed care organizations, and providers across the United States use Intellectability's health risk screening tool, e-learn courses, and person-centered training to improve health equity for people with IDD. Visit replacingrisk.com to learn more about how you can employ these tools with people you support.
So, Kelley, one of the things that I ask all of the guests is to do something called 3 in 3, which are 3 things in 3 minutes, where you talk about 3 tips, 3 pieces of advice, 3 words of wisdom from your experiences that you'd like the listeners to hear that you think can improve supports and services for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
I know one thing is don't be afraid to try something new. I think that's people supported and support staff alike. Trying something new is the only way to learn. Another thing I would recommend is don't forget that everybody has a gift or a talent, and it's our job as support people to bring that out in each other as much as it is to bring it out in the people we support, because we're all a team. And if the people supported see us showing new potential, then it encourages them and empowers them to do the same thing. And I would say one more piece of advice would be it's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to say no. No, I really can't work this extra shift. No, I don't feel like taking a shower today. No, I'm not going to brush my teeth 3 times today. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's no wrong answers when it comes to supporting people the way that makes them live their best lives.
Those are 3 great things, Kelley. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today and for sharing your insights into what it is to be a direct support professional. But more importantly, thank you for the incredible work that you do in this field.
Thank you.